Welcome back to another episode of Barbecue and Bottles, folks. Today we're going to be doing pork back ribs. And we're going to be doing a special Diet Dr. Pepper pork back rib recipe here out on the Traeger. Going to get some of that sweetness from the pop, going to get some of that smoky hickory flavor from the Traeger. And we're going to take you through everything step by step. And that first starts off with making the rub. And we're going to be doing this keto style. You'll notice we had Diet Dr. Pepper, and we're going to be doing a pork rub here that we're just going to leave out the brown sugar and the rest of it's keto. So really simple recipe. First, you got to grab your cup of coffee. I know it's the middle of the afternoon, but my third cup, you need this to keep going. So really easy recipe here on the rub. We're going to go in with a half cup of black pepper, half cup of granulated garlic, half cup of onion powder, half cup of paprika, half cup of chili powder, and then a quarter cup of cumin. Now, if you're not going keto and you want to make this more traditional, go with a half cup of brown sugar here that we've got in the front. That'll just help caramelize up the rub on the ribs, but I think we're going to be just fine going keto. So let's measure this up here quickly. Perfect. Now for a little heat with the chili powder. Perfect. Look at that. Doesn't that look cool before you actually mix it up here? All right, we're just gonna grab a fork, mix it around like this. So we don't actually have a funnel here, so what we're gonna do to make this a little bit easier is just roll up a piece of paper like this. Create a nice big cone on the top like that. Now we're just going to feed this in over the sink. All right, now that we've got these mason jars filled up, just screw on the lid. And again, these will store, we've had some of ours store for almost up to a year. So it's a great little way to make a huge batch of this rub all at once, and then you never have to worry about making it again. Just take out your ribs and you're good to go. All right, now for the ribs. Now we're getting some paper towel. We'll explain that in a second here. And what you're gonna wanna do is make sure the membrane is off of these. So if you come onto the back, just stick a dinner knife here, right under the back. Oh, it looks like these already have the membrane taken off. But what you want to do, if the membrane's not already taken off, is just take a knife, get it in under there, grab it with a paper towel. That is the biggest trick in all of this, is make sure you've got paper towel as you grab onto that membrane and peel it off, and it should all come off in one big swoop. All right, now we've got the ribs ready. We're just going to go on with an even coating of the rub here. You want to get it on both sides. Flip it over, get the other side. Oh, this cumin smells incredible in the rub. All right, now that we've got that loaded up, we're just going to let these racks sweat it out here for the next half hour to 45 minutes. And we're just going to be using one of these spray bottles. You can pick one up at your local hardware store, and there's nothing to it. Don't need to dilute the Diet Dr. Pepper at all. Just do this over your sink, have some good aim. Boom, that should be enough for us. All right, we're outside. We've got the Traeger Pro here. This is all set up. Take out our little smoker tube, that's for cold smoking. Remember when we did that cold smoked cheese video? We used that thing. Anyway, we're going to be grilling out here on the Traeger Pro 34. We've got this hopper loaded up with hickory pellets. We're just going to turn this on and set it at 180 for the first part. So you can see these ribs have really tacked up here. They've sweated out. a bunch of the rub has started to absorb into the ribs. That's exactly what we were looking for. You'll notice we didn't use mustard as a binder here like we did on our competition ribs video, and we'll put a link in the upper corner there to that video if you want to check it out. But don't really have to use it all the time. If you let your ribs sweat out, the rub will tack in just like this. You can see it here. There's going to be no issue with this rub coming off when we drop it in the smoker. All right, we got the smoker preheated to 180. Just going to load these racks on. Right in the middle like that. Make sure you put the meat side up for the first 3 hours. Perfect. Now we're just going to let these go uncovered for about 3 hours, and we'll come back. We'll be misting them every half hour with Diet Dr. Pepper. So we're about a half an hour into the cook, and we're just going to spray these down with a little Dr. Pepper. Get a nice mist going like this. All right, close the lid back down, and we'll check back in another half hour. Another half hour has passed. Just gonna hit these with a little bit of the mist again. And what we're trying to do here is really just build layers of flavor, right? We've got the rub on here, we've got the smoke that's coming off the hickory pellets, we've got the moisture and the flavors from the Dr. Pepper. So all of that's just gonna build layers of flavor and make for some amazing ribs. All right, another half hour's passed. Just gonna keep spritzing these. You can see there's absolutely a beautiful smoke color that's coming on. All right, we're at the 3 hour mark. So we're gonna pull these ribs and wrap them. Because we're doing this keto style as opposed to competition style, is we're just gonna put them on some aluminum foil. We're not gonna put on the butter. We're not gonna put on the brown sugar. We're not going to put on the barbecue sauce. We're just going to go in with a little bit of excess Dr. Pepper. Alright, so wrap this like this. Actually, you want to get the meat side down. And before you finish wrapping, just pour a little bit of the extra Diet Dr. Pepper in one end, and this is going to act to braise those ribs. Ooh, hot. Back on here, and now we're going to crank the temp up to 225 for the next 2 hours of this cook. Alright, these have been on for 2 hours, so we're going to peel back the foil. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Get these over on the cutting board. We've already taken one rack off. Going to take the second rack off here. Get this transferred over to the cutting board. Alright, look at the bark on this. It's a little damp, as you'd expect given the braise. Now, if we weren't doing this full keto, we'd use a barbecue sauce, put that all over here, put it back in the smoker for another half hour and get that to tack up. But there's a ton of sugar in barbecue sauce, which isn't keto. So we're just gonna carve into these straight away. And I always find carving ribs with the meat side down a little bit easier, just because you can see where the bones are. All right, now while these are piping hot, we're just gonna dig right in here, see how the taste test goes. Oh, that's so good. It's such a treat to have ribs on keto here. I know this isn't going to be quite as good as having barbecue sauce and sugar within the rub, but gosh darn it, it's an awful good second place. So if you like this video, give us a like below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. Thanks for tuning in, folks, and we'll see you next time.